Don't choke them.
All right, Mr. Dotsu. Back to you in the studio. For this article, I believe it focused, some have actually raised concerns about the tone of the article and what the perspective will be to foreign investors. We have inflation about 33.69% this 33 this month. We're looking at the perspective of how this will be to foreign investors and what this will spell for Nigeria. Is it realistic that a New York article will not balance some of our existing realities by not, looking at the federal government positive, what's the name, move to alleviate some of these concerns?
Yes, thank you. But the point is this: if you read the article very well, I think it's a reflection of what is going on in the country, whether it is balanced or not. Let's look at the substance. Number one, was there no fuel subsidy removal? That's the first question. Number two, was there no unification of the Forex market? Those are the fundamental points.
But we know that the matter of the subsidy removal was to end in June, and so the president was just making a statement. Yes. The previous administration had known that it was going to end in June, and so the president had to just make that statement.
Yeah, because it was not in the budget. But that's not an excuse for you not to think about what will be the implications of your action.
But we couldn't sustain it. That's what the government said.
Yes, they said it's not what the president
and
said.
Even all the presidential candidates, the major parties had agreed that subsidy was something that had to be removed.
I take your point, but I invite you to take my point. You see, every political party can turn around and say, okay, we are going to support this initiative. It's a drain on our resources and what have you. That is understandable. But the point is this. It doesn't take away the fact that you need to consider the implication of your decision and your action. And you need to appreciate one thing. For every action, you must expect a reaction. The problem with this subsidy removal, I take your point that it was not in the budget. They said it will end in June. And the president on that day, he said that subsidy removal is gone forever. Well, maybe if it's me, what I'm going to say is that for the issue of subsidy removal, we are going to look at it. Because the problem we have is this. The moment he made that announcement, what follows is the hardship. The price of the product went up. And then we are where we are now, whereby, there's food inflation in the country, the inflation rate has gone up and what have you. Even the subsidy removal, which they said is gone forever, you've heard the other people saying, no, it's still there. It hasn't been removed. At least you listen to the interview with Rifai and others. Now, these are the issues which we need to consider. And the problem is this. If you want to come into government, it is very important you promise little and deliver big. Because if you promise too much without carrying out a critical analysis of the economy or what you are going to, we are going to have. We have a situation now. We have the 16th president of Nigeria, and we are now where we are. And the problem we have, they said they are going to tackle poverty. That is understandable. They came up with all these initiatives. We know that. We are not saying the government is not doing something. But what they are doing is not reflecting on the poor masses in this country. If you want to tackle poverty and deal with the poor, that's understandable. Then what happened to the working poor? Today is public holiday. Tomorrow you will see them boarding buses going to work. At the end of this month, they get their salary. But as soon as they pay the children's school fees, pay the bills, there is nothing left.
Cost of living crisis is what you're saying?
Well, the cost of living crisis is there. But what do you do to ameliorate that cost of living crisis? The president in June last year gave 5 billion as palliative initiatives, you will recall. Okay. They said they are going to give the money to some of the governors. At the end of the day, there are a lot of crises. They said a certain percentage will be a grant, some will be either a loan, and there are a lot of outcry. Whether those money have been disbursed, those are another issue you need to consider. Another thing is this Forex market. They said, okay, and taking your colleague's question, that, okay, they said they don't want multiple Forex market. They are going to unify. They're going to unify it because it's, investors are not willing to come. Now, since they did that, what happened?
Well, the CBN governor had said that there are more portfolio investors have been coming in. They are seeing some kind of confidence.
Right, it may well be, but you have to be very careful of somebody who is marking their homework, because at the end of the day, let's wait and see the reality of things. And there's another point.
Your statements seem like you're not giving them the benefit of the doubt.
You look, the benefit of doubt will always be there. It is not about giving people benefit of doubt. It is about actions now. We want, you see, if you go out there, listen to, if you read that statement, their response to the New York Times, they said these are inherited problems.
Yes.
Now, yes, you can say yes, but inherited from who? From
the previous administration.
No, thank you. The previous administration. Which party is the previous administration?
So are we now looking at the party as against those who are at the helm of affairs?
You can't separate the two. Because I will tell you why. Because number one, President Tinubu has a spear key to Aso Rock when President...
Did you see it?
No.
Did you see it?
No, what I'm saying is that because of his position and the closeness to President Buhari, he can come in and see the president at any time. During the currency...
But he's not the one that will make policies.
Look, at the end of the day, it's not the one, but they belong to the same political party. And when you belong to the same political party and your policy is affecting the masses, and you have the ear of the president, you have the right to talk to him. And I'll give you an example. During the currency redesign, and there were a lot of outcry here and there that people are saying they can't get the money, whatever. Did he not meet the president to discuss the issue?
But yes. You also know what went on during that period.
There
were other stories around this matter that it was against certain persons
at
the time.
I take your point. But the point you need to appreciate is that, God, you see, when you belong to a political party, there is something they call collective responsibility. Right. Okay, you may not agree with what the government is doing, but because you're a member of that political party, then you need to align yourself. Okay, so what they are trying to do, you see, this blame game is not an excuse. What we want is a solution. If you listen to Bayo Onanuga, he said price of Gari has gone down. At which market?
From his place.
From which place? Look, I bought Gari a few weeks ago. If you go to the market now and buy pepper, 7,500, you cannot even have a full pot of soup. People are going through bread and water month by month. And how long this is going to go on for? That is the $1 million question